Welcome to the Masterful Coach Podcast. I'm your host, Molly Claire, and I'm here to help you master your coaching skills so you can become the confident, effective, and transformative guide your clients and your team are craving. Whether you're a coach, a high-level leader, or an ambitious go-getter ready to transform your own life, you're in the right place. On this podcast, we dive deep into the skills, mindset, and strategies that make the biggest difference when it comes to your coaching, your business, and your impact. And we do all of it while making sure that you're building a life and business that truly fits you. Let's go ahead and get started with this week's episode. Hey everyone, you are going to love today's episode, especially if you like the idea of simplicity in your coaching business. If you like the idea that it could be easier to be organized than you might imagine, and if you also like the idea of having a better return on investment in your business. So these are some of the things we're talking about. I have Tracy Hoth with us today. She is an organizer of 17 years who specifically specializes in helping coaches to organize their business in a simple way. Welcome to the podcast, Tracy.
Thanks, Molly. I'm so excited to be here. I love how you emphasized simple because that's what I think. Like, I try to make it so simple that you think, why haven't I done this? Why haven't I heard this before?
Yes. And this is something I am extremely focused on right now in the back end of my business is simplifying, because it's almost like, I know I'm getting off on a little tangent here, but I know a lot of my listeners will relate to this. I have for sure had this block for myself, this idea in my head that I'm not very organized, that I struggle to be organized, that I'm scattered. It's just this interesting thing. And I do think that a lot of people that struggle with ADHD to any level, we tend to collect these thoughts. But this is what I'm actually realizing. That is actually not true for me. And I'm now at a place where I am owning the fact that I actually am capable of being organized. And as I step into taking more ownership of what's happening on the back end of my business, simplicity is the answer. Simplicity.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I'm all in on this topic. And I love that you do this specifically for coaches.
hmm It's
Yeah.
so interesting that you bring that up because all those thoughts that you had about being messy or not being capable of being organized, that's the whole identity thing. And it's thoughts that were given maybe even as kids because we had a messy room or whatever it is.
Right.
And then we've carried it all this time. And it just takes questioning that. And like you said, you realize that's not even true. Like, but we've believed it the whole time.
Yes. And I think especially so with regard to a coaching business, because I know many of you listening relate to this. It's like, okay, I we have this passion for coaching, for helping, right? We want to build this business. And then it can be so easy to get overwhelmed with all the skills that we need to learn and all the it's like we wear so many hats. And I think sometimes we can we can in an effort to learn what we need to learn and make everything work, we actually end up overcomplicating things.
Ooh, for sure. And there's so many good resources and freebies and courses and things
Right.
that we can download, and we're downloading them all at the same time and making a complete mess of our computer. And so, yes, totally. I see that
Yes.
all the time.
So, okay, so as we dive into this, so I've told them a little bit about you. So, you have a background in organization, you now work with coaches. Tell us a little bit more about that and kind of and what you love to do with the work you do with coaches.
Okay, so when I worked in homes and offices, mainly helping people get organized, and then when I got life coach certified in 2018, I started working online and I started helping people get organized online. I didn't start helping businesses yet necessarily or entrepreneurs, but I started that, and then my own computer and my own processes, like I had to figure it out. It was so different than working in person. And so I'm like,
Mm.
Tracy, you have to get organized yourself. So went back, used the steps that I've been using for all this time since 2008, and implemented and tested and then started helping people on the back end of their business and saw what really works and then started putting that into place and packaging that and helping people organize their own business because I thought I believe I am organized. And I thought if I had all this problems and issues and duplicates and can't find stuff and search doesn't work or whatever, I thought, what are people that have never been taught the skill of organization? Like, what are they dealing with? And how much better could they reach their clients and help and grow their business if they had these things set up?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's so true, right? Because how much of us, how many of us are bogged down unnecessarily with just a lack of systems or organization that could be easily implemented, right? How many of us are bogged down, and is it keeping us from actually bringing in those clients, getting building the profitable business that we want and helping more people?
100%. Yeah.
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 And that's what I love is just teaching people that skill, helping them recreate the identity, like you said, that they're completely capable of it. And what I often see, because you had mentioned ADHD or, a neurodivergent brain that works a little bit differently, it's like, and I had someone tell me this, Tracy, the way you've made it so simple, I totally can see that. I just never thought of doing that myself. And so they're completely
Mhm.
capable of following that system or creating that structure in their business. Their brain doesn't work to think of it or put it into place initially, which that's what I think is keeps people stuck sometimes is they think that they should be able to get it together. They should be able to figure that out. And it's like, why? Just get the help you need for that skill. And then you totally can maintain the skill and learn that. And then the cool thing is it overflows into the rest of their life. And so now they know the skills of organization. And then I have people telling me, like, I'm organizing my linen closet. I'm teaching my kids. Someone just told me
Mhm.
this story that their son was telling her mom, well, grandma knows the spasm steps, so she can organize that room that she hasn't done yet. And I'm like, your kids are learning this. Like, it's so fun.
That is so awesome. That's so awesome. And one of the things I'm going to ask you in a minute about where to start organizing in the
Yes.
business to get the biggest return on investment, because I know, a lot of coaches are we want to make our business as profitable as possible, right? So I'm going to ask you that in just a minute, but before I do, I want to first of all, I want to bring up again this word of simple and simplicity, because I think sometimes, I know I've experienced this, you know, implementing organization that, while intended to make things easier, actually seems to add a layer of complexity. And so, as you were talking, I love this idea that the simplicity that you bring is perfect for the creative entrepreneur, for the neurodivergent brain, right? However we categorize
Right.
ourselves, I think the simplicity and the ease of actually implementing what you're teaching has to be there.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. And also in that, understand that initially it might seem hard because you're
Hmm.
learning a new skill. You're
Right.
training and it's the training of your brain. And so with my 5 file folders on your computer, it's just training it. It's like what's that called? A flow chart. It's like a flow
Hmm.
chart and over you're just training your brain for that. So initially, that's why I like to think of organization as a project. You're going to set a start and end time. In that period, you're going to really focus on this and get it done and set those structures and simple processes in place. And then you're going
Hmm.
to work on the habits of maintaining it. But you
Hmm.
know that it's going to start and end, and you're really focused on it. So you understand, like, there's going to be that initial curve of practicing something new. But that's going to stick with you and you're going to train
Yeah.
yourself to use it and
Yeah.
stay there rather than I even catch myself, ooh, that app looks so good. Oh, that thing, that's their answer. Oh, maybe I should be using this. And you're like jumping all over the place, trying all these
Hmm.
things and never sticking with it. And then using that as evidence against yourself. Oh, I'm not organized. It's
Hmm.
like, no, you've tried 20 things and didn't stick with any of them. So let's keep it
Hmm.
so simple, use what you have, and stay
Hmm.
there and get good at it.
Yeah, yeah. And so, and one thing question I have for you. So, in the work that you do with helping coaches get organized, is this, does this go hand in hand with setting up automations and tech kind of stuff and SOPs, or is it slightly different than that?
I look at it like in these areas. First, your mind, your identity of being an organized person. We kind of start
Hmm.
there, but then we're going to build the evidence to prove your new identity true. And then
Hmm.
digitally, how do you find things quick? Because organization
Hmm.
means to know what you have and be able to find it when you need it.
Yes, agree. Hmm.
So you're going to look at that on your computer. You need to be able to find assets quickly. Where are
Yes.
all the links that you need? And then we look at time, organizing your time, and then your processes or your SOPs. And in
Hmm.
that process, let's define what your process is first, and then decide, do I need to improve that? Do I want to improve it? Do I want to automate something in that process? We're not jumping into automation until we know like where would be the most beneficial thing to automate. Where should we start first in that? What are we doing over and over that we could save some time doing? So automations
Hmm.
comes at the end of that. Let's look at what your processes are, what you're doing, and let's decide then what we want to automate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so where's the best place for someone to start with organizing?
There's two areas I love helping people with because they see the biggest. I mean, it gives them the best evidence that this is worth it and it's kind of exciting. One of
Hmm.
the places is the bookmarks bar. And I just had a client, private client, we share our screens. I'm telling her where to click, what to do, and the whole time she's like, oh my gosh, I never knew that. Oh, I never realized that. I'm going to be able to find everything I needed. And she actually, when we were working, she could close, the 47 tabs she had open because we leave those open. We don't trust that we're going to be able to find it when we need it. And so now she's like closing tabs and she's like, oh, this feels so good. Tracy, you don't know how long it's been since I closed all my tabs. And so she can find everything she needs on her bookmarks bar.
Maybe what we need to do is we need to post on my Instagram about this episode, and we can have a confessional where people will confess the most amount of tabs they've had open at any given time.
And what's crazy is I'll see a browser open with like just the tabs are so tiny, you don't even know what they are. So then they're
Right?
wasting time clicking into each tab. But then what I don't notice is that they have four more browser tabs open, like Windows
Oh,
separate ones that
no.
also have all those tabs open. And I'm like, oh, please just let me help you create something so simple on your bookmarks bar that you know exactly where
Yeah.
everything is and you can find it in one click and get to
Oh
it
my
and close
gosh.
it out because you know it's always going to be there.
Yeah. This feels like this should be like a Christmas gift. Like to someone like your browser bar package or what bookmark
Yes.
browser,
Bookmarks
however you would
bar
say
or
it.
favorites bar, whatever, yeah, people want to call
Yes.
it.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. I may have a few tabs open right now.
And here's the thing I like to compare it to. When I walk into my kitchen, I drop stuff on the bar, like the island area.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's okay because I have to have hands to do stuff right when I walk in. But I know those things that I put there have homes. So we can leave our tabs open because we're in the middle of a project. And sometimes we get distracted and we have to do something else and open a few more tabs. But you can close all those because you have a home for them. You know where they go. So that's kind of the relation. Life gets busy and we're in the middle of stuff, so we have tabs open. It's not that that's not that I don't have tabs open. I
right.
do, but I can close them because I know there's a home for them on my bookmarks bar and I know I can find them and get to them quickly when I need them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And as you're talking, I'm thinking about there was an episode I did a few weeks ago that if those of you that haven't heard it would be a good one to go back and listen, where I'm talking about small moments and small decisions and how, when we think about creating the life that we want, the experience we want in our business, I'm thinking about these small moments of decisions, right? Where we're intentional and we take the time to put the tab away and to then go and find, where it's located. It really is a slowing down and intentional in these small moments that I think can just open up a lot for us in terms of the experience of our life and business that we want.
Yes. And that's why I
Yeah.
like to start there because you open your computer every day and you're pulling up your or opening your browser every day. And to have that peace and that calmness. And even the person that I was working with, it was a 1.5 hour session. And we got all that done. And she's like, Tracy, I can go away from here now. She's like,
Mhm.
I just want to spend the next hour doing the rest of them that I want up there. And like, she has this structure now. And it was 1.5 hours of time. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
that is so worth it. That will save you so much time. So the return on investment in that is huge. And so that's why I
Yes.
like, that's the one of the places I love starting to help people.
Yeah, yeah. Because truly, I think especially as coaches, as entrepreneurs, as creatives, our energy and our ability to be clear in our mind is, I mean, that's one of the greatest things that we have. And so to think about being able to clear that mental and emotional space, that's a huge return on investment in
It's
terms of what we
huge.
can.
And the confidence it gives you and the
Yeah.
you show up as a CEO versus someone and I had someone making hundreds of thousands of dollars. She just had her biggest launch ever. And she said, the whole time, I am scrambling behind the scenes to get my team what they need. I am feeling
Mm-hmm.
so much shame and so much embarrassment because the back end of my business is a complete mess. My team is wasting so much time because I don't know where stuff is to get to them. And I'm like, I just want to help her solve that and get this simple
Mm-hmm.
structure in place that she can teach her team and everybody can find what they need. It's like
Mm-hmm.
that is so valuable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so that's place number one. What's
Yeah.
next in terms of just return on investment, in terms of really the time put into it, right? Spending time getting organized.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
second place I like to go is your digital files because so much time, like I just said, she's spending so much time trying to find what she needs. And this goes back to time too. I think about people that think they're bad at time management because they put an appointment on the calendar and they're like, I'm going to accomplish this. I'm going to create this result in an hour. And then the first 30 minutes, they can't even find what they're needing to get to. And then they shame themselves because they didn't get their task done. They think they're bad at time management. Well, if they could find what they needed
Yeah. Yeah.
immediately, they could get it done. So I think digital files. Let's set up a system and train our brain so that we know exactly where everything is on our computer, exactly when we need it, and we can find
Mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm. And I know one of the things you talk about is only needing 5 file folders. True? To
Yes.
organize your digital
Yeah.
files. Tell
Yeah.
us all about it. Tell
I'll
us.
tell you. So imagine anything coming into your computer. It's like a flow chart. It comes, or flow thing, funnel, comes in from the top,
Mm-hmm.
and it's either going to go to business or home, personal. So those are
Okay.
the first two, like, but I'm talking, so then we're in the business. It's a business related file, and there's
Okay.
5 folders. So the
Okay.
first one is operations, anything
Okay.
behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is marketing, anything outside, forward facing. The
Mm-hmm.
third one is my content, anything I create. And the fourth one is education, anything anybody else creates. That's all your freebies, all your downloads, all your courses and coaching and certifications. And then the fifth one is files. I mean, clients. The fifth one is clients. So operations, marketing, my content, education, and clients.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm like writing these down. I'm processing. I'm taking this through my own filter.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so within this, and obviously these are the main folders, right? And then you can
Yeah.
have subfolders underneath that, but this is really going to help you put them in the right buckets.
Right. So it
Yeah.
comes in, goes into business. You have one of 5 places it's going to live. And your brain is not like, oh no, I need to make a new folder. I need to do this. I need to do this. Where should that live? Is it on my computer? Is it in my Dropbox? Is it in my Google Drive? Have
Yeah.
one hub, one place. That's the wonderful one, that concept I teach, that people are coming back saying, oh my gosh, my one place. Now your brain's relieved of deciding where it goes. It's one of five files. You know,
Yeah.
it goes into one of those places. It's all of a sudden so simple. Once you get things sorted into those five files, then you go back to each one and you can purge and rename and
Hmm.
create the subfolders that you need. I don't
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
creating a ton of subfolders ahead of time. Let's see what you have in there and see, could I group this into a category to make it
Hmm.
easier? And you make a subfolder for it.
Hmm. Yeah, because I know for me, I have more than five in my main Google Drive, right? And so they're
Mhm.
sort of they are in these categories, but I can see where I can group more things together, and it just feels nice to have fewer, I think.
Yes. And you open your Google Drive and it's like, they're color coded. I like to put numbers in front of them. So I keep them in that order. One is operations, two is marketing, behind the scenes,
Hmm.
outward, my stuff, other people, and then client. So it goes one through five. And here's something. So my podcast is marketing. It's what I use to market. So it goes in file folder two for marketing. But
Hmm.
I name it 2.1, and it
Mm.
lives outside that folder on my Google Drive. And
Mm.
here's why. I go to that folder all of the time. I'm always in my podcast folder, and it
Mhm.
just makes it
Mhm.
easier. But it follows the structure. I could easily slide it into marketing because I know it lives there because it's
Yeah.
2.1.
Yeah, yeah,
But I pull it out because I use it all the time and it sits outside the marketing folder.
yeah, yeah.
But
So
I
tell
don't do that for 100 things. I do that for that and the two
right.
programs that are in my content. For those two programs, I keep them out because I'm in them all the time. But
Yeah,
that's the
yeah,
only folders that are up.
yeah. Okay, so tell me this. So for people listening, what is I think I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it anyway and see what you say. When is the right time for someone to hire you to help them?
Well,
Well,
it's not a matter of if you're going to get organized. It's a
yes.
matter of when.
Yes.
And so your business is either you'll burn out from like that. Like I said in that example, the woman was so stressed and overwhelmed and frustrated and felt so bad about her whole team. She's either going to burn out from that or her business is going to get bottlenecked, which was where it was at. So
Yeah.
you're going to eventually have to do that. And so and I talk
Mhm.
to people that I've helped who have very successful businesses, and they're like, I wish I would have done this from the very beginning. If I would have
Mhm.
had these structures in place, I wouldn't now be scrambling trying to get it
Mhm.
set up. So it's not really a matter of if, it's like when you decide, I want to learn this skill and I'm
Mhm.
ready to implement it and set up my business in a simple,
Mhm.
peaceful way that I can
Mhm.
then grow it. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
of course, I would
The
say set
answer's
it up.
now.
The answer is now. I would say set it up now and then go forward from there.
Wherever you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I'll just speak to this. So those of you listening, I think that um in I'm going to oversimplify this, but I see this very often to be true, where if we were to lump people into two categories, you have the people who are they are less likely to slow down, to cross the T's, to dot the I's, to organize. They just go for it. And then they often find themselves feeling like they need to like, okay, let me move backwards, let me clean up the mess that I've created along the way.
Yeah.
And for those people, in my experience, it is that is those of you listening that are good at like going for it, like you don't hold back, you just right. It's like a superpower for you. And
Hmm.
then there tend to be people on this other end of the spectrum who are a little more cautious, maybe a little, slower to get going, maybe have a little more hesitation, and are really careful perhaps to a fault in terms of crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's. And in my experience, first of all, what I would say is if you're listening to this and you fall into one of these categories, nothing about you is wrong. Nothing about you is a problem. It's just good to know, right? For those of you that just go for it, keep that strength, keep that ability, and ask yourself, how can I create some pause? How can I slow down enough to implement the things that are going to make it easy for me to keep going at the pace I want to go?
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you that are on the side of like wanting everything to be in place, my recommendation for you is lean into that as something that's really positive for you and ask yourself the question, what are the ways in which I can challenge myself to move forward even when things aren't all figured out, even when things aren't perfect? And right alongside that, I believe that you need a good mentor, business coach, whatever you're doing, you need to have someone who's going to help you with that because it's not easy. It's easier said than done, right? To say, just be okay with moving forward when everything's not perfect. But there's a lot more going on under the hood with all of that, right?
Yeah.
So I know that was a little bit of a tangent, but I think that it's worth acknowledging that we all operate differently. All of you listening are in a different place in your business and have different needs. And I do believe that if the timing feels right and you feel called to this, like take a minute and get organized because it makes a huge difference.
Yeah. Well, and two things with what you were saying too, that's why I like to look at it like a project because you're looking at your year and you're planning out quarter two. I'm going to focus on getting things organized so that it's now a project that you're going to invest in and
Yeah.
get accomplished and move forward. So it's I just like the thought of looking at it like that. I think it's really helpful. And then the other thing in that I tell people, we're not going to get organized and take up all your time where you're not doing your revenue generating activities. No, you do those first. And this is your project time. Carve out a couple hours in your week, however that looks, to focus on this project that you've chosen to focus on and invest in and get that done. But you're not doing it to take up all your time in
No.
place of revenue generating activities.
Absolutely. And I'm going to just add to that. I really have a deep conviction that the more ways that that you listening can free up your mental and emotional energy,
Mm-hmm.
will not only feel better, you will be more effective. You will be more effective as a coach. You will be more effective as a business owner. And that energy that you're able to then pour into your business is going to return to you in the best ways tenfold.
Yes.
Yeah.
That identity, that peace that comes along with you believing that you are an organized CEO.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah,
it's possible. It's possible. It's not,
totally.
it seems more difficult in our minds than it is.
Oh, for sure. You make it this huge thing and you look at all the things that are a mess. No, we just start with one, check it off, practice it, feel so great. It saves you time already. Check the next thing off and move forward from there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, as we wrap up, in just a minute, I'm going to have you say any final, encouragement words, whatever you want to share, and of course, where people can find you. So we'll do that in just a minute. But I just want to offer up to all of you as you're listening to this episode, as you're taking it in, you know, notice what are your thoughts about yourself and your ability to be organized, to get organized, and to stay organized. Because the way that we view ourselves and our capabilities in that way, it really does matter. And I am 100% convinced that every single one of us is capable of maintaining simple organization.
Hmm.
I am convinced of it. So if you're feeling anything else, I just want you to consider challenging it just a little bit.
Yes, question those thoughts that are keeping you from getting to that after point, that organized point.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, Tracy. And any final words, and also will you share with everyone where they can find you?
Yes. The final words, just be encouraged, like Molly was saying, be encouraged and know that it's possible and that it's a skill that is going to benefit you in so many different areas besides just your digital files or your systems or whatever. It's going to bleed into all of your life and be such a great skill to learn. You can find me at Simply Squared Away. That's the name of my business.com. Everything's on there. And listen to the Organized Coach podcast. I talk about organizing all of it, your life, your business, your home. Even I have some episodes on that too. So,
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. And it's just been so nice to have this conversation with you. Love being
yeah.
connected with you. And I'm definitely encouraged. And I'm here. I'm on a good track with a lot of these things. And there's always more we can learn too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right. Thank you, Tracy. Thanks everyone for being here. And I'll talk with you next week. That's it for today's episode of the Masterful Coach podcast. If you found this valuable, make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you take a moment to leave a review, I would truly appreciate it. It helps more coaches and leaders find this podcast so they can grow right alongside us. Make sure to check out www.mollyclaire.com for the latest offerings in advanced trainings and coaching mastery. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk with you next week.